Welcome to Z2 Motorsports. My name is Mark, and I'm going to give you a little tour around the shop today. Before we go inside, let me give you a sense of who we are and what we do. So we're a restoration and customization shop, and we're dedicated to muscle cars, classic cars, performance cars, and race cars. Basically, if it's fun, fast, or cool, that's what we want to do. Our services range anything from simple repair to frame-off restoration, and custom and resto mod builds. Let's go take a look inside and see what we've got cooking today. So this is our shop. We've got a 7-bay garage, and it's broken into 2 separate spaces. We've got the mechanical shop on that side, got the body shop on this side. Come in and I'll show you around. So in this space, we do all of the preparation for the paint. We'll do fabrication work, metal work, body work, everything getting ready for the paint job. Come in the booth, I'll show you how that happens. So this is a car that we painted just yesterday actually, and we're waiting for the clear to cure for a while so that we can then do what's called cut and buff, which is the final process on a paint job. And it's the part of the paint job that gives you that nice, smooth, mirror-like finish. Also notable in the way that we do these paint jobs, we do it with the car apart. We take all the panels off after we've done all the metal work and all the panel alignment. Take it all apart, we paint, we clear, bring it all back together, do the final polish, and then the car's beautiful. Come around, I'll show you some more. This is one of my favorite tools in the shop. This is called the rotisserie, and this is what lets us flip a car around. So if you're doing a restoration, this is a full restoration that we're doing. Every single nut and bolt is off the car, and we need to get access all around the car. Top side, bottom side, up, down, left and right. And this thing twirls and we can get everywhere we need to get for a beautiful restoration. Let's keep on going. We'll take a look at the mechanical shop. A couple things that we've got going over here though before we come over. We've got an 85 CJ7 with a resto mod build. And then we'll get to this one later. Andrew will tell you about all the metal work and the fabrication work he's doing here. Gonna stop there before we go to the next side. When we moved into this building, it was awful. The walls were dark, the bathrooms were terrible. This was a place I didn't even want to walk through here. So the only way I'm gonna be here is if we paint the wall really white, clean up, and add some lights. So this is our mechanical shop, and we can do everything here from simple repair to a complete mechanical restoration. We've got also, I think in here you can see a good example of the breadth and diversity of the cars that we work on and the work that we do. So on this side of the shop, we've got a 1924 Dodge Brothers car, 100 years old. We've got a 1958 BMW 503, a car that spent much of its life in a museum. And here on the lift, we've got a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner resto mod, very high-end resto mod build. So that's it for now, and then we'll go meet some of the guys and hear more about the cars.
So here we have a 1969 Pontiac GTO. It's a partial restoration. Currently, I'm doing metal work on the back side of the car. Inner rockers, outer rockers, wheel tubs, quarters, and sail panel. At this stage, I've completed most of the work on the passenger side. I'm focusing on the driver's side. Right now, I am currently getting the car prepped for epoxy. You can see the inner structure right here. Did all my small patch panel repair from the inner rocker to the wheel well to the trunk. And now we're focusing on prepping it, sanding it down, scuffing it, and then epoxy priming it. Once that's done, I can start fitting the panels, outer rocker, wheel tub, and quarter for final welding.
James Armando, I'm at Z2. Putting this flare on for a customer. There was no flare on here before, so we molded it so it can all be put together. Put fiberglass, a little bit of Bondo on top, so it can be stable. As you can see, I think we finished the other side, so it's nice and smooth. A little primer, take care of all the cracks, take everything off, and paint.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm a technician here at Z2 Motorsports. Today we're working on a 1924 Dodge Brothers sedan. It looks pretty extreme, but there's not really that much going on. We had a couple leaks. The radiator had to get sent out and re-abrased and re-cleaned and get it all restored. And we're doing an oil reseal on the oil pan. The old gaskets they weren't installed correctly from probably 30, 40 years ago, and it's just been leaking ever since. So we tore that down, and we've got the actual oil pan over here, and the surface is just really, really rough and really not flat. So we're taking some time and we're filing down the surface to get it as close to flat as possible, and we're going to clean it up and regasket everything and put it all back together. Here we have a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. This is kind of a resto mod build that was never really fully completed from when it was initially built. It was never brought to fully functional, fully ready, and the customer he kind of wants to get it across the finish line. He bought it partially finished, and we're just doing the little fine detailing. We replaced some windows, straighten out the wheel, or straighten out the steering wheel, adjust the suspension height. It's a full coilover suspension. He's got kind of an older build in it. It's very clean, but it's an older version of a fuel injection system that doesn't meter as well. We're planning on upgrading that to a fresh fuel injection system, hopefully retaining most of his parts so that it'll just run better. Something that learns better. This one kind of is just a static. You put the program in and it stays there. It doesn't learn, and which is fine if you wanted to go like racing or anything, but for daily driver use and driving it around and having some fun with it, it's really not very good, because you want it to kind of just work no matter what and not have to mess with it. So nothing too crazy, just odds and ends and getting there across the finish line.
Hi guys, this is Jason Punty, the general manager of Z2 Motorsports. We're currently working on a 1958 BMW 503. There's only like 277 ever made in the United States. And we just rebuilt the whole engine. Everything had to be custom built, custom cam, pistons, rings, everything had to be custom made because there's zero parts availability for these cars. But right now, the engine's in, it's broken in. I'm about to drain the brake and oil. Went through the whole chassis, all the operating, got everything lubed, working right, adjusted, and the car is going to be shipped to the Colorado mountains for a 1,000 mile rally in 3 weeks. So that's what we're working on here in this bay.
So for something like this, I'm not using any tools, and you really don't need to, but a lot of people will try to pry it off with like a screwdriver. This is a very clean, original example of a 1969 Z28. It's like numbers matching, everything's perfect, and supposedly these are all factory. The last thing I want to do is scratch up his trim rings or his center sections. So you just kind of work it out a little bit. So that way I didn't mar it up with a screwdriver or anything. A lot of people just kind of go at it, and I'd rather not mess up his very original stuff. The fronts are especially bad. All those cracking. It's not bad. Or it's not good.
One of the things that we've learned, having now been in this business for some time, is that a lot of the cars that come to us have a very deep personal meaning for their owners. And this is a good example of that. This is a 1964 Chevy dump truck, and the owner that brought this to us shared a special bond with this vehicle and his wife. His wife has now passed away, and he brought it to us to do a restoration in honor of her memory. And he doesn't know this yet. There are a couple very special surprises that we're going to have in this truck when it's done and we deliver it to him. We're so thankful that he trusted us with this job, and we really want to make this something that he'll never forget. So you can see that, yeah, the little shroud, and then, and then the fan.
Yeah, so now the fan will tunnel the air much better.
I just...
So I took this is off my 66 Mustang. so is this. But I don't run fan anymore.
Oh, yeah. Just came from Saturday. There was in Sturbridge. There was a Falcon show there.
All Falcon?
Just Falcon.
Oh, wow, how cool.
But I was very surprised on it though. They didn't have the turnout that I would think for some down here. They only had probably 15, 20, probably 20
Well, something
cars.
so specific like that, I wouldn't imagine.
Right.
You know.
Well, they had a couple Comets come in, and I was looking around in there, and one of the guys said the same thing. He says he had to put a shroud on.
Yeah.
It actually helped out quite a bit more. He said.
Oh, it definitely does.
So what was before? There was a pulley system on this before, or no? Before that, this was out of here, and there was another pulley or something like that.
It was no fan. So before it just ended
Okay.
here, and we were just using only the electric on the inside as a puller.
Okay.
But we decided that let's just nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
So we actually bought a stronger fan as a pusher, and then we put a mechanical fan with the shroud. So now you're really covered.
Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So,
We didn't want you to worry about it. So.
well, that's the thing. I mean, it's going to be for.
Sure.
Okay.
The light comes out, so I can put it back and you never see it.
Right.
Right there. So now it won't move.
Perfect.
So one of the things that we get to do, being in the automotive business, is move cars around. We often have a need to get a car from one point to another. And to help us with that, we've got a 24-foot enclosed trailer. We can use this to bring customer cars into the shop, to deliver their cars when we're done. We also attend a lot of auto events, car shows, and then also we campaign 2 different race cars. During the race season, we use this to bring cars around.
So this is a 1964 Falcon that the owner dropped off as a shell. We put a 1988 Mustang GT driveline in it. Right now we're on a test drive. The project is completed from the list he provided us. So on test drive, what you look for is obviously driving straight, wheel centered, no suspension noises, smooth driving, smooth running, good idle. You're just looking for a strong driver, a strong runner. And anytime we take a test drive and we see any kind of deficiency, we come back and we take care of it. So by the time the customer gets the car, it's just a perfectly smooth running, like new vehicle, and we're pretty proud of our projects here. So this car, what it needed is a whole new front end, so we rebuilt the entire front end, put in roller perches and updated things in the front end so it drives better than it did new. We replaced all the rear end U-bolts, shock mounts, hangers, springs. We had a custom drive shaft built to match up to the T5 transmission, so it's a 5-speed overdrive. To put the 5-speed overdrive in it, we had to custom cut a new hole in the driveline tunnel here and close the old hole. We don't like to leave a mess and open holes and things behind. We had to locate, this is the original 6-cylinder car. Didn't have V8 mounts. We had to locate the headers to fit the body properly, which was kind of a challenge because this car is very tight. It's made for 6-cylinders.
All right, so this is a 1950 Mercury 8. It's a little bit different than modern cars. First of all, it has a bench seat in the front, which you don't see too often these days. And I guess the challenging part of a bench seat is that if you are of a different height of your passenger, one of you has to compromise in where the seat goes. In this case, I am on the shorter side, and Thomas is on the bigger side, and I'm driving, so he has no choice. He's got to sit where I want to sit. A couple other things too. We take it for granted often on newer cars that everything is in the same place or operates the same way. There's consistency among manufacturers. That was not always the case. And for example, this car, 1950, 74 years ago, how do you start it? You turn the key. That's it though. You turn it once and you leave it. Then you push this button over here that says starter. And there you go. Also has something that you don't really see much anymore. I don't think anyone makes anymore. It's a manual transmission with the shifter on the steering column. Usually call that 3 on a tree, this being the tree. So we're gonna take this for a quick little spin. It has a Ford flathead V8 engine, which was very, very common at the time. It's actually a wonderful motor that Ford made for years and years and years, and likely has billions or at least millions of miles on those. The other thing, power steering wasn't really a concept back then, so how do you turn a vehicle? Well, you use leverage, and in this case, leverage comes in the way of this comically oversized steering wheel. Other thing with these older cars, and it's really notable when you see some of the higher end older cars, Cadillac, Mercury, things like that, just the attention to detail, the ornamentation, if that's a word, the attention to detail that go in on the dashboard, the front of the car, all over. There's a lot of little details that you're just not going to see on some of the newer cars. We're going on in fourth gear. Thank you for letting us show you our shop. Hope you got to see how passionate we are about this work, whether it's simple repair to frame off restoration, resto-mod builds, custom builds. If you can dream it, we can deliver it for you. If you want to know more, you can visit our Facebook, www.facebook.com/Z2 Motorsports, or you can reach us at info@z2motorsports.com. If you're in the area, stop on by. This is important information to know. Armando is going to demonstrate for us a body man's shower. And there you go, just like new.